to you, Mount Hood Young Life region. Whatever time it is, wherever you are, I'm Blake Raney, and you're not. I'm here invited today to tell you a little bit of good news. That's right, we're taking a little spin-off of John Krasinski's YouTube sensation in the world where the coronavirus, COVID-19, has set us all back a little bit. Man, it's been a hard and strange year. We're doing this event virtually. You're watching these videos somewhere, I don't know where. I wish I could be there with you. That would be good news. Do you remember in life when some of the hardest questions you had to answer were, why are there handicapped parking stalls at the cell phone waiting lot for an airport? Or when you got mostly stressed out just trying to think of, why does the word Mercedes have 3 letter E's all pronounced differently in the same word? And the English language is strange. But now we're faced with things like, in addition to COVID-19, murder hornets, or the question of, are aliens actually real? Or Carol Baskin on Dancing with the Stars. Who had Carol Baskin for Dancing with the Stars? Anyone? I'm all alone in my basement. No one is here to give me any feedback on these questions, thoughts, or ideas, so I hope you enjoy these videos. Let's take it now live to the field where we meet with our correspondent to give us today's lesson and tutorial in Zoom etiquette. Ladies and gentlemen, catching up with my friend and yours, former divisional director and current senior vice president in Young Life, Ken Tankersley. Well, good day, Ken Tankersley. How are you?
Howdy, Blake Raney. I'm doing great. It's great to see you.
It's good to see you, man. Welcome to the Some Good News Mount Hood Region Edition.
It's amazing. And this Zoom thing, it's provided so much for us these last several months, huh?
It has. It's pretty cool. Yeah, they're doing this whole Regional Leadership Day virtually on Zoom. So I thought if anyone can help provide some good news to the Mount Hood region, it would be Tank himself.
My gosh, there's a lot of good news around the Mount Hood region. In fact, this morning, you know what's funny? I just got off the golf course. I was outside, socially distancing, trying to stay 6 feet away from everybody. And as I was coming off the golf course, I saw this other golfer. And I just noticed he was wearing 2 pairs of pants. Hey, golfer, why are you wearing 2 pairs of pants? You know what he said?
What did he say?
Hey, in case I get a hole in one. You know, that's preparing for a pandemic right there. What about you? What have you been up to?
Oh man, it's been there's a pandemic in Seattle, so I've just had to stay home. Basically, I haven't done anything. Just sat in my living room for 5 months, and that's how it goes. I wear a suit now.
Well, Blake, you're right. There's great news, really good news in the Mount Hood region. But here's another thing that I'm a little bit fearful for their leadership, for Wayne Patterson, because Zoom fatigue is a real thing, Blake. It's a real thing, and it's epidemic. And sometimes you can tell that Wayne Patterson has been on Zoom way too long. You know why? How
can you tell?
First time I could tell that Wayne had been on Zoom way too long was when he started using the webcam feature just as a mirror for getting dressed in the morning. I mean, that's not what you do. That's way too much Zoom. Yeah. What about you? Have you seen the same signs?
I have. Yeah, I've been on some Zoom calls with Wayne. I consider Wayne a friend. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I've noticed now that we're talking about it is he uses the Zoom chat to post all of the important regional announcements. And I just am
that's
like,
not the function of the chat feature. No.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. After 7 months of Zoom, isn't it true that Wayne just goes way too close to the mic? I mean, that's too much of Wayne for me.
Absolutely. There's a lot of his kind of camera presence he has to be aware of. I think he's actually coordinating his meal schedule based on his Zoom calls, because there's chewing, there's leaning, there's this sort of thing sometimes.
You can tell that Wayne has been on Zoom way too long when he uses the reaction feature as a way of just communicating non-verbally, like,
yeah.
Say what you feel. Just say it.
I've heard of people that are finally, meeting with him in person, and I think he's still doing the virtual behavior in face-to-face meetings, like raising his hands, asking permission to speak. It's strange. It's weird on him a lot, I think.
And he's at Zoom fatigue when he walks into the Zoom room and he goes every time, "Okay, Jenna, what's the agenda?"
He also there's a song that I keep thinking of, kind of the entrance music for Wayne.
We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
I mean, that's a kid's song, Wayne. It's a kid's song. It doesn't need to start every call.
Yeah, and you don't need to walk on music for every part of your life. It's okay. I also heard too that he's made critical decisions around the house based on the polling feature results on Zoom. I think he painted his living room a certain color based on the polling results from a staff call one day, which is just not the appropriate use of a poll.
I mean, he's way too wrapped up in his virtual background. Which national park am I going to highlight? He's got too much identity wrapped up into that. His misuse of Zoom is like when he uses the breakout room as a way of sort of punishing the staff person who talks too much and says, timeout. And he just sends them to a breakout room.
Go to your room.
Yeah, go to your room.
Oh, there it is. These are things that we've observed about our good friend Wayne, and we know that the Mount Hood region is in good hands, and there's lots of good news. But Wayne, take it to heart. These are pro tips from Tank and Blake. And I got to tell you, Tank, before we go, there's another story that happened recently. There was a young boy at a restaurant that I was sitting next to, and he says to his dad, he says, "Dad, can you tell me more about a solar eclipse?" And he says, "No, son." You get it? You get it? That's a punchline. That was a dad joke. I got to work on my Zoom punchlines here.
All the Mount Hood region.
All for the Mount Hood region. Tank, thanks for joining us. This is some good news. Enjoy the Colorado sunshine today. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you, Tank. Hope that was helpful. Hope you're enjoying some good news so far. Now the part of the show where I apologize. I've been told that it might have been insensitive to reference handicapped parking stalls at the cell phone waiting lot at the airport. I'm just wondering, how do we know where the appropriate location is for the preferential spot in a parking lot where you're not getting out of your car? It's just a hard question. I'm glad I'm not responsible for figuring it out. Okay, well, sayonara. See you soon. Thanks for watching. This is Blake Raney. We'll be back later.